Start with a maintenance update for you. We've removed several large limbs over Route 60. We've got a couple more that we need to do. We've got a bucket truck coming in, we'll take care of those. We've also removed trees on Route 159 and 42. We have a contractor that's been removing trees on Route 629, 159, 311, and 220 North. We've been doing brush cutting countywide and tree pruning on Route 269, 159, and Hayes Gap. We're also doing some cold mix patching on primary and secondary routes countywide. We've been cleaning pipes and pipes on secondary routes. We've got shoulder work going on McKinney's Hollow and Owl Street, and grading our gravel roads countywide and adding stone as needed. Recently had paving that was finished, I think yesterday, on 64 westbound between Longdale and Triangle. And it is time again for 6-year plans. And this year we didn't add any projects into the plan. We had some deficits that we needed to address, and so there's only one fiscal out year that's added. So based on that and the language in the code, if you all don't want to have a public hearing this year, we can put it off and then do it again next year. It's entirely up to you. If you'd like to, we can still do it. But I thought I'd at least bring that to your attention. This is one of the few years where we haven't had any major changes or anything added to it. So I'll leave that up to you all.
Do you need action on that this evening, or do we have to take it this evening?
It would be nice, because if I do schedule it, I'd like your agreement. If we are going to do it, I'd like to do it at your May 7th meeting, and I'll need to do the advertisement for that.
It would be up to the board if there's nothing to discuss, or...
Well, where actually would you put in a public hearing?
Basically, we go through and just, you all look at the list. If there's any public comment on any of the projects that we already have in there existing. The thing that has not happened this year is that we didn't add any projects from last year's plan to this year's draft plan. There wasn't enough money to add anything in there, and Route 600 that's in there now is taking the full allocation of funds that you have in your out 6 year. So, like I said, it's entirely your preference if that's something that you'd like to do, but by code it's not required.
So there's no changes and no applications available, so...
No, there's no additional money. As a matter of fact, there were deficits that we had to adjust in the first 5 years, and then you kind of push your projects out, so it really does impact that out year. It wasn't a huge amount, but it's enough that it doesn't give you any room to add a new project.
The town manager at Clifton Ford said something about VDOT was going to pave the Ridgeway Street from somewhere like Roxbury all the way out to the college.
That's not included in that program. That's primary extension dollars, and that's a reimbursable program. It's not part of your secondary 6-year plan. They are VDOT funds, so the town, based on the rating of that particular section of pavement, creates an eligibility for reimbursement of state funds. But that's outside of this program that I'm talking about.
Is that going to be done?
The town has to do the contract. Like I said, it's reimbursable, so that's kind of up to the town as to how they schedule that paving work.
Okay.
The 6-year plan is auxiliary.
It's strictly your secondary routes that are within the county. They're outside of any...
Not 220.
Not 220 in Covington, no.
Rural routes. If there's nothing to discuss and no additions and funding limited, I don't know why we would do a public comment or public hearing.
And you really can, this would only happen 1 year. It is required that you have them at least every other year. So we'd be back to your hopefully better schedule, maybe a little more money on the table next year.
We hope so.
Yes.
I mean, I don't see I think it's going to be an exercise in futility, personally, but...
No money to get, so...
Yeah.
Which is why I bring it up.
If the board is in agreement, I don't know why we have... Is that unanimous with the board?
That's fine with me.
I know you just came in, but there's no money available and no additions to the
Sure,
six-year
agree.
plan, so
Okay,
I think we move forward.
and then we'll do it again next year.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And any
Anyone-
comments that you all have? I'm sorry.
Any questions or comments from Ms. Ann? I hope you don't have a wind event this evening too.
We have hail at my house, so,
Yeah.
yeah. I expect we're gonna have a lot of folks out removing trees.
I hope it misses us, but we know you're on it if we do have trees down, so thank you so much.
Thank you.